Hello, and welcome to the We Recommend podcast, a movie podcast where every week we recommend a movie for you to watch and then come back here and listen to us discuss. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Jason.
Oh, I hate to be the one to tell you this, but ain't none of them nice girls, because this week we recommend X.
X. Formerly known as X also.
Yeah, you just got X'd. Bro, so...
Just what a nice girl.
Did you know the guy that plays Jackson is Kid Cudi?
Who's that?
The Pursuit of Happiness song? I'm in the pursuit of happiness and I know.
Don't know that one.
Wow.
Sorry.
That fact, I thought would have hit
Still
better.
in the dark.
Yeah. Okay.
Does he?
Because I did not know that was Kid Cudi. I keep wanting to say Chance the Rapper.
Do you think
but
that was
Kid Cudi.
his wiener in the picture?
I do not.
Or do you think that was a
I
stand-in?
do. It's
Or maybe
gotta-
even a fake one?
It's got to be I think it's probably a sock.
Tell us what
a
you
penis
think.
sock.
We recommend.
Well, due to the veins on it, I thought it was more of a sock than an actual penis.
It was a big veiny bastard, wasn't it?
Actually, don't even remember.
It wasn't like there was a close-up.
It's like I would need to enhance. I just kept yelling enhance at my TV. Just technology doesn't exist, I guess.
Natalie's like, I can't do it any further. I don't have the power.
Again, it's about to hit me in the eye.
Oh, God.
So, man, this movie is a romp, right? I love this movie.
It's rompy.
I feel like this is the fourth time I've watched it since it came out, and I was like, why have I watched it so much? And I was like, oh, because I love it, I guess.
Have you seen the other parts of the so-called trilogy?
Yeah, I've seen Pearl. Pearl rules.
Yeah.
It's not really like this movie. It's super bright. Like
Oh.
this, has that kind of,
Dark Texas Chainsaw Murdery kind of feel?
yeah, it's kind of grayish a little bit versus Pearl that's all technicolor and like super bright and it's beautiful. But that movie is probably really doesn't get to the killing until the last 30 minutes versus this one kind of starts up at like the last hour.
It gets right up to the weird
Yeah. Oh, it's great.
and the suspenseful.
I mean, as soon as you see the older people, it's immediately there's like, wow, they look rough. They seem like they're ready to go anytime.
Those social security checks aren't cutting it
But
anymore.
technically, Pearl is ready to go anytime, apparently.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
She's a wild one. Giving Howard a run for his money.
So something I liked about this movie is obviously it makes you think of Texas Chainsaw Massacre immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Giant house looks run down in a field, and it's a horror movie. So you're just like, well, this is gonna just be some crazy guy in a house. And then it immediately takes a turn of, wait, the old people are gonna kill everybody?
Yeah.
It's like, how in the world is this even possible?
Don't know.
But he made it possible.
I saw a 90-year-old woman mowing her lawn with a push mower one time. They can do
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of
They
stuff.
can do a lot of stuff. This lady looks 150. She can barely walk, but yet she can stab people, which is nice.
With a pitchfork
Dude, the
and a
ending,
knife.
whenever she tries to shoot the gun
Yes.
and she flies out of the
It's
house,
awesome.
it me and Natalie were talking about, we kind of always forget that it happens, and then it happens, and we immediately bust out laughing.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
And it was so much better. Like, let's say like the scene from Django when he shoots that dude. He
I
just
love
gets
it.
sucked into the kitchen.
He's like, hey, movie directors out there, I know it's not realistic, but just do it. Add it in every action movie, every horror movie, where someone shoots a gun, just have someone fly back.
Big strong guy.
We used to do it all the time. It used to be in every movie in the 90s and 80s. Now, what happened? why
our
did
bones
we-
got bigger
we-
as humans.
We lost our sense of imagination. Now
After
everybody
so-
just dies normally. What are we doing? So what is it about this movie that you like? Did you like it? I actually
I did
didn't
like
ask.
it. Yeah,
You
I do like it. I like the suspense and the like. Every time that they went to the water, I was like, "Oh fuck! Oh
Dude.
fuck! Oh fuck! Oh
Dude.
fuck!"
Dude, the alligators. Okay. Well, there's two scenes that are kind of up in the air to be my favorite. That one where Mia Goth's character Maxine
hmm
is
And
just,
Pearl.
just like floating in the water, and then the gator starts coming up, and it's that really like the high up
It's
shot.
big.
The what do you call it?
It's the
The
Lake
thi-
Placid
the
shot.
things that fly in the air.
Drones?
The drone shot, and where it's just like the gator slowly coming. She's just like, just swim into the dock. It's so suspenseful and great.
I
It's
know.
amazing.
Holy fuck.
And I also watched Crawl recently, so I'm kind of just really scared of alligators right now. Alligators are crazy.
They are crazy
It's
scary.
like, they just will eat anything that's nearby.
Uh-huh.
Like I saw one where people were just feeding alligators. Like I guess it was
Yeah.
a zoo or alligator farm, and they threw some meat out. All the gators just started going crazy, biting it, and then one alligator just was unlucky to have its foot next to the meat, and the other alligator just immediately grabbed onto it, spun, and ripped its foot off. And I was like, the other alligator was like, huh? How are they? They're just insane. It's like, do they feel pain?
apologize afterward?
I don't know.
I bet they don't feel empathy.
Probably ate them. Well, I don't even, because the other alligator didn't even, like, what does an alligator act like if they get hurt?
They don't really make a lot of noise.
They don't. They
I feel like they
hiss.
just, they swim away and hide.
They're like you think cats are assholes and hiss at you.
They are
Alligators are assholes.
And gators are like learning. Like there was one in Florida that this older woman was walking her dog.
Mhm.
The dog got away from her, eaten by an alligator. The woman goes chasing after the dog, eats the woman.
No, I thought you were going to say, eats the dog, skins the dog, puts the dog fur on the alligator, pretends to be this woman's dog. Woman takes it home, eats everybody in the house.
Becomes a pop star.
That would be.
I'd watch the shit out of that movie.
That's a good movie. I think trademark TM. Well, so there is I was listening to some interviews with Ty West, which is the director of this movie. He did
the produced, directed, and
everything. Yeah.
This
is
edited.
Okay, what am I trying to say?
He's a busy boy.
He did the movie The Sacrament, which is pretty fun. It's like a found footage. It's essentially just doing the Jim Jones like cult type thing, but it's not Jim Jones. It's like his own made up quote.
They drink
So
like
good.
off-brand Kool-Aid, not the regular kind.
It is. Oh man, when it gets to kind of that point where it's like, oh, it's a cult, they're all gonna eventually die, because you can kind of tell immediately at the start that it's gonna be that type of cult.
Kind of ready for
and
it.
It's very good. It's actually, I suggest watching that. The House of the Devil, which is probably my favorite of his, really good too. You should watch that.
Don't think I've seen
That's
it.
just where a babysitter is babysitting this old woman, and
like the Babysitter's Club.
something like that. Except there may be some bad stuff. Greta Gerwig's in it, the director of Barbie.
Is the older woman like trying to get away with eating stuff she knows she's not supposed to, just because there's a babysitter?
I'm trying to
Like
actually
me
remember.
I found this chocolate powder. I had no cocoa powder. I was
Mhm.
like, babysitter. My mom lets me eat this constantly.
She actually says, I don't even need milk or water with it.
It's not even. Yeah, it wasn't even drink mix. It was just like baking cocoa powder.
And you just ate it?
I was like, yeah, she lets me do it all the time because I wanted to try it.
Did you do it?
Yeah, and it was horrible.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like the cinnamon challenge. At that point, you're just coughing. You're just immediately drying out your mouth and throat immediately.
Yeah,
That's all. Awesome.
It's like, you win this round, babysitter.
Yeah. What was I trying to say?
I don't remember.
Oh, yeah.
The Babysitter's Club.
I was listening to Ty West do an interview with Sean Fennessy from The Ringer, and he was talking about how he didn't do movies for like 6 or 7 years, because he did one movie and then he just did TV for a while, and he like honed his craft and stuff like that. And then he said he was like ready to go back to make a movie, and he came up with a slasher, which he's never done. And something that I love that he said, he's like, I wanted to make a horror movie that's not like what we're seeing now. Horror movies have too much story. I just wanted to kind of make it a
And I like
basic slasher movie.
That makes
sense.
sense.
It was so nice.
That makes sense because I like how he kind of cut the corners of having just gratuitous sex scenes.
Yeah.
He's just like, he makes it the whole purpose they're there.
It's like, hey, they're there to have sex.
They're there
Let's go. And it's like, hey, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for clearing all
it's
that
like,
up
you know
for
what?
us.
It's not, it's just, and they're all like, hey, yeah, this is just what we want to do. We all want to have sex. That's like,
we want to
nothing
make
weird. It's great.
this is our life.
It's what
We do.
I don't know what I was going to say there. It's what all movies should be. That's not even what I wanted to say. I don't
should
even.
be about the sex, the
I don't even
adult
know.
film industry.
My brain. The coffee is kicking in, and I'm just saying words at this point. So, some fun facts about this movie. He wrote the script, had it all ready, and they're about to film it.
Eaten by a
And
gator.
COVID.
Oh, shit.
Wah, wah, wah. So later they're like, all right, A24s, we can do it, but we can't do it in America. And then they realized, oh, New Zealand doesn't have COVID. Awesome. So they went to New Zealand to film.
Man, I bet the customs line in New Zealand was insane. Like the TSA.
We're like, let's go. We gotta go there.
Get the fuck out of our country. Turn around. We don't want you here.
This is like, wow, everybody lives here now. Oh, great. Now we have COVID. But so when they stayed in New Zealand, they had to quarantine for 2 weeks or ever how long it was at that point. And in that time, they just kind of wrote the script for Pearl.
Nice.
Ty West did alongside with Mia Goth and called A24 and was like, hey, can we, I don't know.
We got 2 movies.
Can we just film 2 movies since they're both set at the same farm? And they're like, yeah, sure, why not? And then they did it.
Nice.
But because they're filming in New Zealand, another film was filming in New Zealand, Avatar by James Cameron, the second one or third one or fourth one, whichever one he's filming right now. I don't know. He's filming them all at the same time, I think. Maybe. I don't know. They keep pushing out dates.
I haven't even seen The Way of Water.
So that led to the production crew of Avatar, which at that point was being delayed, to be the crew on this movie.
Fuck yeah,
so
man.
When you watch Avatar 2 or 3 or 4, whichever one he's filming right now, you can be like, that person holding the camera may have been a part of X. Great.
And they're like all just fighting off orcs while they're waiting, while they're filming.
It's like... They get there and it's like, all right, so the Na'vi all right, so we're shooting a film porno with the Na'vi. Oh, wait, no. That's my other movie. I'm sorry.
Na'vi porn? Yeah, we did that one last week.
Yeah. But I was like, oh, but New Zealand looks great.
Twirling
it looks
their
just
little
like
hair
Texas.
thingies.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It's
That's horrible.
Such a hot, sexy.
No. The stupid little worms.
Like, how do they even... Man, I wish I had tentacle hair. I don't know. Just seems like it'd be kind of cool.
I mean, do you think there's one that's like, that's out there and it's kind of like Medusa? Just like how it's, you know, how all the other ones have all their things in their braid, but Medusa over there, it's just everywhere just going nuts.
It's like,
just trying to connect with everything.
Yeah, turning everyone into... So it's like, so whenever she connects with the tentacles, that's when they turn to stone?
No, that's just when they get hard.
Whenever she looks at people, whenever the Medusa... Na'vi looks at someone, they just turn a different color instead of turning to stone.
Yeah.
They're all blue. So they're eventually in Avatar going to go to a fire section.
The volcano?
Yeah, I'm assuming something like that. Do you think are they going to be red? Or are they going to be gray? What do you think?
Aren't they all blue though?
Yeah, but whenever in the
blue.
Second one, the water ones were like a different color blue.
So they're going to be like a purple if they're like red and blue.
Ooh. Oh, that'd be so pretty.
Purpley.
Damn, I can't wait to watch
It's like a bunch of eggplants.
Yeah. That's what someone, after they filmed X, they're like, James
Cameron kept texting eggplant emojis.
They're
like, what are you
Jim
trying
Cameron,
to tell
I have an
us?
idea. They look like eggplants. Let's see. So Ty West decided to do the film about porn. He decided to have the porn element in his horror movie because he felt like they're both outcasts of the filmmaking world.
Yeah.
Because, horror movies never get nominated for Oscars, even if they're
And
the only one.
Nobody watches porn.
Get Out, I think, was the last one. And then the one before that is probably something from the 60s.
Wasn't Parasite kind of a horror, or is that more of like a thriller?
I think they consider that more of a thriller with just one of the scariest scenes in recent horror movies.
I don't remember it.
When the guy whenever the kid's getting some milk from his refrigerator and he hears something in like the stairs that goes down to the basement, and like the guy is slowly raising his head and his eyes are bulging out of his face.
Oh shit!
So cool.
I must have missed that part.
I loved it. I can let you borrow it if you want to. But yeah, I was like, such a good idea. Porn and horror all in the same movie.
Yeah.
Sometimes guys just win,
Hell yeah, we do. All the time, actually.
Yeah. So that's true.
It's kind of one-sided.
Yeah,
if you think about it.
really good at winning. Wow, we just got canceled.
Oh no.
So
we deserve it.
The title of the film refers to the X rating used by the MPAA, which is that has been doing,
sure, like the PG-13
yeah,
stuff like that.
they've been doing that since like 1968 to like 1990 or whatever.
I wonder what made them decide to add more X's? They're like, this
Well,
is way
so
out of our category.
They actually don't use the X anymore. They only used it to like 1990 because so the X indicated that a film was only suitable for audiences aged to 16 or older. The idea behind the rating was that, unlike the other certificates, X would not be trademarked and would allow filmmakers to release their film in theaters without needing to submit it to the MPAA for an age certificate. Notable films that were released with an X rating: A Clockwork Orange, Fritz the Cat, Last Tango in Paris, Midnight Cowboy, and Sweetback's Badass Song. There's a lot of S's.
So is it technically NR, like not rated?
Yeah, essentially, I think.
Oh, okay.
And in the 70s, the porn industry would end up exploiting the X rating's lack of trademark by releasing pornos in theaters with the same rating. Eventually, X became more associated with porn, and more theaters started refusing to show films with an X rating, forcing non-pornographic films to be censored to receive an R rating. In 1990, the MPAA discontinued the X rating and replaced it with NC-17. Unlike X, NC-17 was trademarked and could not be self-applied, but it still meant that most theaters would not show films with the rating, resulting in censorship. Once again, nice. I can't say the word censorship. So yeah, that's kind of like the story of the X rating.
I feel so much smarter now.
I feel like I learned that in school and completely forgot until I learned.
I thought it was because Vin Diesel was born and he made Triple X immediately.
Yeah, he's like, we have to
change this.
I can't do a Vin Diesel. Family.
I think that's exactly how it sounds.
I was doing too much like this. When it's got to be a little bit softer. Family.
The fridge fried taters.
That's terrible. Man, we got to do Sling Blade soon. That movie is a horror movie in itself.
It's pretty spooky.
It's a very suspenseful movie. You're constantly on edge 24/7 in that movie.
Because you love that guy, that character, and then you're just like,
and the kids
what's
night, and you're like,
gonna do?
But like with the score of the movie, like none of it ever seems like anything happy is gonna happen in the movie, and it makes me feel bad. But it's kind of what makes it fun to watch.
Last night I watched the Something Zone, the one about Nazis.
The Zone of Interest.
The Zone of Interest.
I haven't seen it yet, but
super cool but depressing.
Yeah, because like people are just in their house and you just hear people screaming from a camp.
Yeah. The sound is incredible.
I think it won for best sound.
It's good. Yeah, it's awesome, and it's so cool.
Hollywood was like 10 out of 10. Love hearing people screaming in the distance.
Yes, we do, and getting showered in ashes from the furnaces.
I need to watch that. I'm blanking on who directed that, but
it's so terrifying because it makes you feel like it makes you like these, or it doesn't make you like them because you know what they did. But it makes them look like they're just normal people.
Normal people, yeah.
And they're SS.
Well, because before all that, they were kind of normal people, and then and
then they went way off.
The whole thing happened,
the whole thing. Yeah, we don't. Yeah.
And as a good transition back to X, we'll talk about the actress who played Brittany Stowe talking about filming the nude scenes in the movie X. She says, I think there was a lot of confidence in terms of our characters, and a part of the nudity came from the confidence that our characters exuded. It almost felt necessary because not only were we filming a porn, but our characters would have been so comfortable with that. Snow said the film was an exercise in feeling confident about my body, and I was pretty proud of myself.
Like, Mia, put your clothes on, and we're not ready yet.
She's like, I'm walking naked everywhere.
Jenna, stop, not you too.
And Brittany Snow, she plays Bobby Lynn, the blonde girl in it.
Yes.
She was in like the Pitch Perfect movies and stuff. And I think she's directed a movie that's coming out pretty soon. Pretty cool. And for the last bit of facts I have, this is about kind of the deaths in the movie and how they're foreshadowed. So if you just started listening to us and you haven't seen the movie, I don't know why you are, but this is going to spoil kind of every single death. So.
Yay.
So several of the characters' deaths are foreshadowed in various ways. When Bobby Lynn exits the strip club at the beginning of the film, a large mural depicting a blonde woman with an alligator pulling off her bikini is seen on the building, foreshadowing Bobby Lynn's death by an alligator attack.
It's like the sunscreen.
Yeah. And Wayne, in conversation with RJ, tells him that people's eyes are going to pop out of their skulls when they see the adult film they have made. Wayne later dies by having the prongs of a pitchfork stabbed through his eye sockets. Cool. And at another point, Wayne advises RJ, never let a good woman out of your sight, never mention her weight. No, so like Howard loses track of Pearl, which allows her to start a murder spree. And while dragging Lorraine, he comments that she's heavier than she looks just before her death rattle startles him into a fatal heart attack.
Ah, yes.
Jackson mentions several times that he was threatened by farmers with guns while serving in Vietnam. He is ultimately killed by Howard with a shotgun, who's a farmer.
Yeah.
The van runs over the entrails of a dead cow early on. RJ's blood is spattered over the grill and headlights while Pearl stabs him, and Pearl meets her end with Maxine
Backing over her
backs
head.
a truck over her body,
Yes.
crushing her head. In addition, when Howard and Jackson go looking for Pearl, Howard mentions his worry that Pearl will fall and break her hip. When Pearl fires the shotgun
Oh,
at
she
Maxine,
does
the
do that.
recoil causes her to fly through the air and break her hip upon landing.
So funny.
It's so good, dude. Like, I like how funny this movie is. It's not like overtly funny,
It's
but
just- it's so slapstick.
it's just the little things like, ah. And something that I really like about Ty West is that, you know, it's like he takes his time getting to everything, right? Because the beginning of this movie is pretty slow. It's just kind of like, all right, what are we doing? Let's go. Let's get to this place. Let's start killing. Because most movies now start with a death at the very beginning.
Well, they did start with the bodies wrapped up, like the
Oh,
police
yeah.
finding the bodies.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, which is so brilliant, especially to start off because it's playing off Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but also you see all this violence and blood, and there's like a body in the middle of the road, and there's blood everywhere, and then they go down into the basement, and they're like, "Oh my god!" You're thinking, "Wow, these killers are gonna be crazy." I don't know who the killer is, but they must be insane and killed everybody because how violent these cops are like saying this looks.
Shit.
And then it's like, wait, it's two old people again?
It's
It's so
unexpected.
smart. It's so smart. I think this is a very smart movie.
Yeah, it was fucking great. I didn't know that. Totally over my head with the Pearl seeing Maxine as her like younger self. Like she looked exactly like her when she was younger.
Yeah, because it's played by Mia Goth.
Yeah. Right. But I mean, it's cool that they made it. I don't know. It's just kind of a weird thing.
Why she's so obsessed with her and
Yeah, I mean,
like
that
Pearl
makes
is.
sense.
Like,
Yeah.
because it's like, that's me from,
Or is
back in
it
the
time
day.
travel? Porn actresses.
whoa, I'd watch that.
Time sex.
Wow, we just both got divorced.
That's all right. I'm going to go back in time.
Yeah, make sure we don't say it on something recording us. All right, man, you ready to hop into the film?
Yeah.
All right, so something also like about this movie is, so all the porn is shot in 4:3, like on the camera, like the camera they use inside the movie
Oh, yeah.
gives like the 4:3 aspect ratio. So the movie starts off in that aspect ratio, and we're like, oh, it's going to be shot like an old timey movie. But then it zooms in, and you realize that it was the barn doors, and it's immediately like, oh, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, hell
For
yeah.
people who like movies, this is going to be fun. So we meet one of the sheriffs.
I'm
What?
sorry. I'm sorry. No, I'm just saying, like, it just zooms in on Jenna. I can't remember her character.
Ortega.
And like after
Lorraine.
she gets with Jackson, and just like it's just the barn door just swings open because it's so huge.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, good one, Jason.
Welcome to my thoughts, everybody.
Oh yeah, real quick. So Mia
My
Goth played.
incredible thoughts.
Yeah. Go and listen to our Pop Star Never Stopping. So Mia Goth plays Maxine, Jenna Ortega plays Lorraine, Brittany Snow plays Bobby Lynn, Kid Cudi plays Jackson, Martin Henderson plays Wayne, or AKA Discount. Am I really gonna forget his name?
Discount Stu, like Disco Stu. from The
Discount
Simpsons.
Matthew McConaughey. Owen Campbell plays RJ. Stephen Uri plays Howard. He's an older actor, but he's not as old in this movie. It's actually funny because when we did see, we watched the movie the first time, immediately, like the first thing I said to Natalie, I was like, so obviously because I knew that Mia Goth was Pearl, but I was like, so
Yeah,
is
you
the
think you're
old,
so fucking
so I was
smart.
like, is the old man's an actual old man playing him just with some extra makeup on him? And I was like, because his butt looked too young, right? He had a very young butt.
His butt was too fresh.
I was like, that is not an old man butt.
That is one taut rump.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll get back into the movie. So a sheriff arrives at a horrific crime scene. There's bodies everywhere. There's corpse covered up in front of the house and blood spattered all over the front porch. As the sheriff goes inside, the deputy tells him to go inside of the house to see something particularly gruesome in the basement. And after they go in there, they're all like,
Dang.
"What? That looks bad." And throughout the scene, we see a sermon by like kind of like a fire and brimstone type of preacher.
Hell yeah.
Like, everybody's going to hell.
Yeah. Party
That's
in hell.
my favorite type of church. I feel bad 24/7 being at this church.
Yeah. Everybody be afraid.
Cut to 24 hours later. We have an inspiring starlet, Maxine, and her last
With
name
3
is
X's.
Meeks. Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah, it's totally cool.
She's getting ready to go down to shoot a porno film titled The Farmer's Daughter. As soon as we meet her, she's doing coke. And then Wayne comes in, talks to her, and then she's like, "Get ready to go." And she looks in the mirror. "You're a fucking sex symbol."
Hell yeah.
Because Mia Goth has a awesome country accent.
So
Have you heard her
good.
talk in real life?
Nope.
Yep, her actual voice
It's the
is
same?
even more insane. Well, she's
Oh,
got
it's
like a
worse?
British accent.
Oh.
But-
Oh man, how hard must that be?
I don't know because every British person seems to do it pretty well.
Just to do a southern accent, to do an American accent, but then to do a southern American
I
accent.
wonder if it's easier because you just kind of got to be more lazy with the way you speak.
Yeah, you kind of do like roll your words together.
And then and if you mess up, you just like, well, it's this southern accent, you know, we'd all just sound weird.
Well, I only got through the 3rd
See,
grade.
Here's the thing. We don't have to do it because we just sound country.
Yeah, we just sound like shit.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. That's why all our listeners are from the South.
Well, mine gets worse as I go farther up the mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say whenever I'm around more southern than me sounding people, I do end up getting,
Your whole
Like,
vocabulary
I kind of
changes.
dive into it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Hell yeah,
wild.
it's fun.
It's like I didn't know I had it in me.
I
and then
forgot I
have
had these words in my brain.
it. Yeah. So they take off to go film the porn. We take off.
Like a master sculptor.
I don't know what it is about the shot, but you know, at first you just see kind of the building they all came out of, and then it zooms out and you see all these factories, and I'm like, man, it's such a specific shot, and I don't know why. And then it pops up 1979 Texas. It's because
Oh.
it's this very specific shot, and I was kind of
The
curious. What do you
70s were dirty as hell.
is that? What you think? That's what it's kind of saying?
I think so. There were no regulations.
Or it's just kind of like a time of, I don't know. It's
Of-
like everything. You
it's
work
just
in
like
a factory if you live in a rural Texas town.
Yeah, you work in a factory or you do porn and
And
have a
that's-
much better life.
And that's what Maxine thinks is her way to get out of
Hell
that.
yeah, it is.
So
It works.
we figured it out.
Sort of.
That's the Re-Recommend podcast. We'll see you next time.
I have, and I really do like the idea that they're saying that they live the life that they want to live, the way they
Yeah.
want to live it, and that's really admirable. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you don't have to suck a dick to do it. Sometimes you do it. That's
Sometimes you do.
okay.
And if that's what you want to do, that's okay.
That's okay.
Just don't do anything you don't want to do.
Exactly.
Like our lives.
Your pain brings me
As we
joy.
work in a factory.
Yes.
We should have just sucked some dicks, I guess.
It's more of a processing plant, but whatever.
So her boyfriend, the producer of the film, Wayne, brings her along with the rest of the crew. You have RJ,
Good idea,
who's the
Wayne.
cameraman, writer, and director. His girlfriend and sound operator, Lorraine, and the actors, that's also a couple, Bobby Lynn, played by Brittany Snow, and Jackson, played by Kid Cudi.
Good.
While they drive, they're all talking about fame and what their dreams are, because all this, they're doing a porn film so that they can all become famous.
Yeah, man.
Which usually, if
Why
you get
else do you
famous
do
in
more?
porn, you just do more porn. So.
Yeah, you do a lot more.
Yeah.
I think.
Unless you're Sylvester Stallone and then you make Rocky.
Oh
after
yeah,
you
he
do
went
porn.
the other way.
He nailed it, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, no, he did porn first
Right.
and then
No, you're right.
got
He did.
famous.
Yeah. And then he's like, I don't have to do porns no more.
yeah.
Hey, you go. Don't gotta do porn no more.
gonna fluff
I'm a success. Come on, Cuffin Link.
Hell yeah. So they stop at a gas station, which is very classic because in a
They
horror movie,
always
you
do,
always
and
have
I
to
love it. I
stop
can't
at a
wait
gas
for that.
station. And but there's really no kind of like in Cabin in the Woods where they have somebody there that's going to tell you
Or
all-
Tucker Dale versus Evil.
Yeah. that are trying to tell you to run away. Instead, there's really no one telling them to do that except for the TV that is also playing the same sermon that I guess is plays 24/7. I don't know.
Hell yeah, man. It's Texas.
Yeah. And Wayne is telling Maxine that once they film the porn, she will be famous. And Wayne says she has an X factor.
Dang.
Roll credits.
Wow.
Also,
we did it. We did it, guys.
one of my favorite lines in this scene is like Maxine says, "I have cosmopolitan taste."
Yeah.
That was a terrible Maxine.
Have you ever had a Cosmopolitan?
Nope,
Never had one.
Never had one.
What is it? Isn't
I
it
don't
like
know.
vodka martini?
I feel like it's just gonna be sweet.
I think it's just, yeah, you're probably right. I don't know what things are.
Yeah, me neither. So the gang outside talk about how RJ will film it to the point where it's like, I'm going to make this better than just a porn. This is going to be...
we're going to have lines.
Yeah,
costumes.
This is going to be more than just a porno. Lorraine, who just completely did not understand that they're going to film a porno, I guess.
Yeah, what did she... I mean...
I think he just told her, like, hey, we're going to go film something.
You want to be my... She's like, you want to be my sound technician?
Yeah.
And she's like, sure, anything.
Yeah. And she's like,
as
wait,
long
we're
as
doing
it's
a
not
porno?
pornography.
What? And then we see him film Jackson putting the gas nozzle into the thing. And then Bobby Lynn's just like, you should have it coming from the angle of the gas nozzle. And it looked like his penis. And she's like, she's like, I know what I'm doing too. Ugh, RJ though. He sucks.
Creative mind, all these creative minds together in one van.
They don't deserve to die.
They don't.
So Wayne tells Maxine that they can't film in town because some people look down on sex. This is kind of just supposed to set up more suspense of like, oh crap, someone's going to find out they're having sex and they're all going to get killed.
And then they get to the farm, we're like, we're here to fuck, Howard.
You would die if you saw what we're about to do.
It's going to be naughty.
And then, so from there, we this movie kind of does a lot of fun editing. Because we get to the point where it's kind of flashing from them leaving the gas station to like a field full of cows. And like there's the car right behind it. It's like this weird flash where it's going back in time to forward in time, back in time. It's really cool. I really like it. It's kind of like older 70s movies would kind of, horror movies would kind of do this. Because they had lower budgets, so they would just... We have to entertain them. We don't have the budget. Let's just do weird cuts and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's what $1 million was the budget for this movie.
Yeah, and plus they're showing the cows, and it's this movie it had more than that. I think. But I also think it's just they're showing the cows because it'd be like, oh, you're more and more out in the rural area of Texas. Jesus, the coffee is making me not be able to talk.
Cows and like signs telling you not to pick up prisoners hitchhiking.
And it's like, oh, cool. Just trying to set up like what's going to happen in this movie. It's going to be some sort of crazy killer. While they're driving, they see a cow that got ran over by a semi, and they're just like driving over the blood of it. And it's like, hell yeah. Ugh, trying to make everybody more and more uneasy as we watch. Then the crew arrives at the farmhouse where they're set to shoot the film. Lorraine regrets helping out because she thinks the movie is smut. RJ says he can make it more than a porno. It's like, why didn't you tell her, man?
Look, she's got a hat.
Yeah. Wayne goes to talk to the elderly owner, Howard, who greets him with a rifle pointed at him. Wayne has to remind Howard.
Well, that's just the good old Texas greeting.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, when you're older and some young person walks on your farm, it's like, all right, well, this is my only line of defense.
He's got mattresses against the wall behind him.
Yes, because he knows he's going to get shot backwards. Yeah, that's so good. Wayne has to remind Howard that they spoke the other night about renting the place out, and he's like, oh, okay. And then he tells them, oh, this ain't even loaded. He tells the gang that they're all set to go. While Maxine gets out of the van, she notices Howard's wife, Pearl, watching her from the window. And it's real creepy because she looks like a skeleton, essentially, or a zombie in the window.
She looks bad. Scary.
As they see,
you think they're trying to vilify old people?
No, I just think there's a natural scariness to getting older, and I think that's kind of what it's about, mainly.
Paper thin skin.
It's scary, growing older.
Being grumpy.
And, you're scared that, like, they're going to hurt themselves or something.
But kudos to Pearl and Howard for keeping
they get around,
the excitement
man.
alive, like in their marriage.
Yeah, and, they seem pretty spry for being 150 years old,
collectively.
Like they're roaming around.
Yeah, they get around pretty good.
Yeah.
Good enough to murder some people.
Yeah. So Howard shows them the little farmhouse that they're going to stay in. Howard talks to them, and they are kind of combative towards them. He's like looking at Mia Goth, Maxine, and who's just they're all just kind of wearing very skimpy outfits.
Yeah. And
And
he's not used to that.
and he's just staring, and Wayne's like, "Hey, you gotta quit looking at my girlfriend over here." And then Jackson says that he was also in the military because Howard says, like, they notice that he's in the military. He says, "I've been shot by enough farmers."
Oh shit.
Um,
Yeah, because probably Vietnam.
yeah, he said, yeah, it was Vietnam, I believe. "I've been shot by enough farmers."
He's seen some stuff.
And apparently Howard didn't know more than just Wayne would join. So Wayne's just like, we threw a little extra cash in. How about that works out? And Howard just says he doesn't really like him or trust him. So when Howard leaves, the porn begins.
Oh man, I just can't wait.
Yeah. Maxine goes out for a walk while Bobby Lynn and Jackson are filming. It's funny because while they're filming the porn, RJ is just constantly trying to give notes and stuff. And he's like, Jackson's like, "How about you let me do the fucking, okay?
Yeah.
You just roll the camera."
Well, I mean, even now though, they have intimacy coordinators.
Yeah.
That tell you how to do stuff.
It's like, here's how you thrust.
How to do it sexy.
Yes. How should I
Most people don't do sex sexy.
It's like, how should I receive a deep throat?
Yeah.
It's one of the most.
Wait a second.
Oh, Jesus.
Just raise your hand if you have a question.
This is going to be our most listened to episode. So we see Maxine. She goes out onto the dock at like a lake. She sits at the dock and we see a old woman slowly walking up behind her. It's really nice and creepy. Maxine strips down and gets into the water. We cut to Wayne, who is super excited because how the shoot turned out. RJ says he told him that it would be better than any other porn. Takes it. Wayne's like, "That was so great. Here, feel how hard my cock is." Just like takes and puts his hand on it.
Do you think
so
most
funny.
film, like adult film producers think this? Like, this is going to be the best one ever.
I think, because I feel like even going from Boogie Nights, that's kind of how the producer worked and stuff. And
I think a lot of producers
I think they just get really excited
They're
about
excited about making a cool thing.
But they also, I don't think that's how most of them are. I think they're probably a lot more skeezy, especially probably in the 70s.
Oh, they're just like crank them out and get some money.
Yeah, and they're just like, exploit whoever we have to exploit, whatever.
Yes.
But in movies, when they have to be kind of likable, they make them likable.
Yeah, that's true. I don't like all of these people.
Yeah, I know. I didn't want any of them to die. And I was like, oh, wow, that's something that usually doesn't happen, especially in slasher movies when you want most of the people to die immediately because they're so obnoxious. Looking at you, Friday the 13th remake. God, that movie makes me mad. Just literally everybody's so obnoxious and dumb. It's awful.
Jason comes out wearing like a catcher's mask, like from baseball.
Yeah. There definitely has to be a slasher where someone wears a catcher mask. So we cut to Maxine, who's floating in the water, and then we see a gator go into the water, and you get this long suspenseful drone shot of the, and then sometimes you get like, as she's swimming, you get it from the dock's perspective, and the gator's slowly getting there.
Yeah. Do you think a gator would do that? Or do they come up from underground? Underwater?
Yeah, it'd probably be underwater, and it also probably would not be going that slow. It'd probably be going a lot faster because they can swim like up to like 40 miles per hour. I read something. They're really fast in the water. Yeah. They're also fast on land.
They're faster than us, I think.
Yeah.
At least for most of us.
That's why, but they can't turn on land. So you got to run in zigzags. If you live near gators and you see one, zigzag.
If I lived around gators, I would all the time zigzag.
I would all the time not go outside. It's like anytime that.
Just get a hamster ball and roll around.
Yeah. God, they could probably.
No, they gnaw on it. They couldn't like fit it in their mouth.
That's true.
Then you just kind of bounce off and roll the other way.
The ones that can, that's the porn gators. And then we cut to kind of the premise of the film, the porn film, because we see that Jackson's car broke down and he's coming to this farmhouse and there's a bunch of innuendos between him and Bobby Lynn and invites him into the house. But all this is kind of intercut with Maxine, who's coming back from the lake. Gets offered from Pearl from a distance. She's like waving Maxine in. It's really creepy looking. And she decides to go inside the house where she is offered some lemonade by Pearl.
Fuck yeah. Then
we cut back to the porn where Bobby Lynn is being offers Jackson some lemonade. And in the Maxine cut, it's her part. It's very kind of awkward and creepy because the house is just covered in dirty dishes. And, Pearl, who is an older lady, just seems to be able to sneak up
She's
all
very
the time.
quiet. It's those
She's very
slippers
quiet.
she's wearing.
Yeah. Maxine, who's sitting at the table with her, starts drinking the lemonade, and she's so uncomfortable that at first she just takes a sip, and then she kind of looks at her, and then just like starts drinking it, and just completely chugs it, and is like, "Well, I guess I should go. My boyfriend gets upset."
You could never have like a basketball player as a murderer because you just hear their shoes.
They're too tall. Yeah,
They're
they're always bumping their heads on the doors.
You just hear that sneaker noise
Yeah.
coming down the hallway. It's dribbling.
Dude, basketball's such an annoying sport to watch. It's constantly squeaking. Then we cut back to the porn, and we're getting like the Bobby Lynn and Jackson, they're getting closer. And then you get like, "Come with me," because as they're about to go have sex. And then kind of get the same aspect from Pearl. And Pearl tells Maxine about her past. She talks about beauty and then starts to move closer to Maxine, kind of coming onto her essentially.
Hell yeah.
But then we hear Howard comes home, and Pearl tells her to go. Pearl says, "It'll be our little secret." And
What?
Maxine like, "What, Will?
Yeah.
What did we do?"
What the hell are you talking about, lady?
But I don't know. The two scenes being kind of side by side works
That
really
was pretty
well.
cool, though.
Where
Yeah.
it's just like, ooh, there's like two types of seductions going on here.
Oh, yeah.
But,
I can't
like,
wait to see what Pearl's
Maxine
got.
has no idea that the seduction's happening, but it's happening.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I feel like that happened to me a lot, too.
Yeah. The old ladies
The ladies had no
accidentally
idea that they're
seducing
being
you?
seduced.
Oh, your wife had no idea that she was being seduced. Next thing you know, 3 kids later, it's like, wait, was I seduced?
You bastard.
But I love a goofy runaway. Right, Tommy Boy does it. That one scene. So it cuts to Maxine like running back to the farmhouse. He's like, her hands are kind of like, it's always so funny. Wayne's like, "Where have you been? We've been waiting on you." She goes, she does some more coke, looks in the mirror. "I will not accept a life I don't deserve." I'm doing a terrible accent. We cut to Howard, who notices an extra glass of lemonade in the kitchen. Now he knows.
Oh, fuck.
He knows they picked somebody.
He knows his wife has been adulterous.
Seducing.
Yes.
The next scene has Maxine playing the younger sister of Bobby Lynn, who also has sex with Jackson. We then cut to Pearl's creepy room where she's brushing her hair and doing makeup.
Just stuck in the dryer.
And I turned to Natalie. I'm like, she may be happier if, I don't know, they found some like satellite dish and some cable or something.
Yeah.
Stop sitting in super dark, dusty rooms.
I guess they don't have like good lighting in there.
Yeah.
Or
It doesn't seem like,
lamps.
from watching Pearl, it doesn't seem the house was updated.
Right. It was a
second.
farm, just like an old farmhouse.
Yeah, it seems like it hasn't aged since, because in Pearl, I think it's happening during World War I or II, one of them. I think it's World War I.
Oh, shit.
I can't remember. I have to rewatch it. I just watched it not too long ago, too. So while filming the porno, we see Pearl watches the scene going on and appears to get aroused.
Hell yeah.
Kind of to see her creepily through the window. And it's like, yikes. And something I love is that like you kind of have like pretty dope shot where you see kind of Maxine turn her head kind of almost towards the window, and it flashes in and out of it being Maxine and then Pearl.
Whoa.
And it's like, ugh.
That was cool.
But it's like, it's just, that's showing her.
It kept making me think it's the same person.
Yeah. Well, like she just wants to be
Time
Maxine.
traveling floozy.
She wants to be Maxine so bad. But yeah, I just think that's a very interesting way to showing her getting turned on by
I really wish I had that.
just seeing her picturing herself in.
Just gonna get her skin and wear it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Hell yeah, it's gonna be so hot.
I'm gonna be so young.
That night, she tells Howard she wants him to make love to her, but he declines since he feels his heart cannot take it.
I bet she killed me.
But it's a super sad scene. So like, even though they're supposed to be, the villains of the movie, it's very sympathetic so far, and it's very sad, and you kind of feel bad for these two older people. And especially because when she kind of comes in, she's kind of being all bashful around Howard. She kind of starts to sway a little bit. I'm just like, oh, I feel so bad.
And then he's like, I can't
crazy.
my heart, but we're going to have to kill some people again, aren't we?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'll get the pitchfork.
We're going to have to save one so I can forcibly have sex with them in my basement.
Gross.
That night, they're all hanging out. Lorraine asks how they do what they do. They tell her it's all just for business and that they still have their morals. And they might as well fuck while they're still young, you know?
Yes.
And that, like, you can still be in love and still want to have sex. I think Jackson has a line. It's like, not everybody falls in love, but everybody has to have sex.
Yes.
Just because that's just people.
Yeah. I am the fuck machine.
And then RJ tells Lorraine, oh, it's okay because it's just a movie. Because she has problems. Like, she asks Wayne, it's like, how can you watch her have sex with him and still be with her? Yeah. And RJ's like, it's okay. It's just a movie. Then we get Bobby, Lynn, and Jackson. They kind of played the song Landslide. Just really great. It's kind of out of nowhere, but it's amazing. And it's amazing.
Some cool music in here.
Yeah, and we get shots of the gang being young and happy, and then shots of Pearl just being miserable.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, also, since we did bring up the music, I love the score of the movie, which is just kind of essentially girls moaning.
Yeah.
This is like, oh, that's so smart.
You mean the song We Marie or something?
Yeah. Well, no, just like the whole score over the whole movie. It's just kind of like,
oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, the song Wee Wee Marie is great too. When she dances, I can't wait. Because that's the scene where I'm like, that might be my favorite scene.
Yeah, that's fucking cool.
Then Lorraine tells RJ she wants a part in the movie, but he refuses. Tries to come up with every excuse. Then Lorraine's like, it's just a movie.
Yeah.
So Wayne takes
a narc,
right? Wayne takes RJ outside and tells RJ she's gonna do it whether you like it or not. So you can either stay and let her do it and don't lose her, or don't participate in it, and she's gonna do it either way, and you're gonna lose her. So it doesn't matter.
Yep.
And he does have this great line. I thought I should have said this. And he says, I'm telling you this because you haven't been 42 and I have been 23. So funny. And this is also where I got the ain't none of them nice girls, which we'll find out. Pearl's not a nice girl.
I don't think she ever was she ever a nice girl? Even in the olden times?
She was cuckoo in Pearl. RJ stays though. The others agree to allow Lorraine to have a part as she wants to actually be a part of the film and not just
so
record the sound. What?
At this point, I was like, yes,
yeah,
yes, yes.
How come? In detail, tell me.
Because it's Jenna.
Yeah.
I wanted to see Jenna Ortega naked, but I didn't, which is fine. Whatever.
Yeah. The scene goes along. It's really great because RJ's like walking in and it's like super sad. The music's playing. She's getting on bed and he's just like, oh no. And then we cut to Jenna Ortega just sleeping in her bed, and like next to her, RJ's not there, and we get this dope overhead shot like in this shower, but it's like completely gray around him, which is kind of a really weird shot, but it looked really dope, and he's just crying in the shower. It's like, dude, it's like, yo, you shouldn't shoot the porn if you can't handle your girlfriend being in the porn, I guess.
Really. Did not expect that to happen.
RJ
never should have brought my girlfriend.
Essentially just says, fuck it, and decides to leave.
I quit.
I just feel like it is all kind of on him. He made it.
He made it weird.
He made it like, oh, porn's not that big of a deal. It's just a movie, blah, blah, blah. And
like,
then
it's
he
okay
also
for them to do it, but not you.
Invited her to come along and shoot it. And it's like,
and
hey,
then didn't tell her about it.
Always an idea that, I don't know, either one of y'all might want to be in the film. So maybe if y'all don't want that, it's a guarantee. Shoe on the other foot, RJ would have no problem if he got to be in it, right?
Are you kidding me?
Exactly. You know what? Men are gross.
Agreed.
So RJ goes to get in the van and begins to drive away to leave everybody behind, but he stops when he sees Pearl standing in the road. He tries to help her back into the house, and
he's like, yeah,
get out of here. And he goes up to her to try to walk her into the house, and then she just kind of like hugs onto him and then kind of kisses him a little, like rubs on his face a little bit. And he's like, why did you do that? Hey, drive around.
Yeah.
That's when you're like, okay, I'm just gonna get back in the car and back up and just go around you.
Yep.
So after she attempts to come onto him, he rebuffs her. RJ continues to try to help, but Pearl stabs him right in the neck.
Right in the kisser.
So vicious and great.
Yeah.
And then slowly gets on top of him and stabs his head or his neck until it's pretty much decapitated.
Yeah. Way to go, Pearl.
And it sprays the headlights with the blood. Like everything's covered in blood. And then she starts dancing.
Pearl does have to turn on the red light.
Dude. This scene rules.
Don't Fear the Reaper?
Yeah, Don't Fear the Reaper's playing, and then it turns into Wee Wee Marie.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so good. Freaking rules. This whole scene. Just, I don't know, stabbing somebody's neck until,
until their neck is gone. There's no more neck anymore.
Ridiculous. And it's like, hey, you started off the kill by killing the one person that, out of all of them, I was fine seeing go.
Yeah.
It's a great way to start it off.
Yeah, exactly. Like, no one else is going to die.
And then she goes and gets in the van, turns it off, and takes out the keys. And it's like, man, she's smart. And later on, we'll see she stabbed the tire of the van.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Now they can't get away.
Exactly. It's almost like they're in a horror movie. All right. And so then we cut to Lorraine, who is getting up to look for RJ. It's getting very suspenseful. Wayne is up and agrees to help look. Wayne goes to look for RJ in the barn and ends up stepping on a nail while barefoot.
Oh, God.
He then hears it's our second straight week of doing a movie where someone
nail
steps on a nail.
Jeez.
Yeah. He then hears something and then looks through a hole in the wall, and Pearl impales him through the eye with a pitchfork.
Which is the coolest way to kill someone with a pitchfork.
Rad. And then she buries him in hay. And so while I'm saying all this, there's like 3 scenes going on at the same time. Because then we'll cut to the Lorraine part. She is outside, and then we see Howard kind of coming up to the house. He says that Pearl is missing. Lorraine agrees to help look inside their house, but ends up getting locked in the cellar by Howard.
Yeah, my wife is missing in the house.
Yeah, well, he's like scared that she went down into the cellar and like, it's like dark down there and she can barely walk. And so he traps her in there. She goes to pull a light switch in it. And what I love is when it goes to, she puts her hand on it and she's about to pull the thing. And it immediately cuts to Pearl ripping out the pitchfork of Wayne's and eyes just come out of his head.
Oh, so cool.
That's how you know like you're watching a smart movie. It's so smart. It's such a great detail.
With the eyeball stuck on it.
Yeah. And it's just like, I don't know. And then whenever next time you see Lorraine, you see like the lights are on. And it's like, of course they are. Because we saw the eyeballs being ripped out.
Yeah, she just like tosses it into a pile of eyeballs.
I'll eat these later.
Horses over there eating it.
Yeah. And Lorraine, she's still wandering around in the basement. She turns around to find a man's nude corpse hanging. She screams and begins trying to break out.
That was just a different guy.
Yeah, that was just we see them early. When they're in the gas station.
Yeah.
One of the things to build suspense, you see a lot of missing people, and they're like, most of them are dudes. And the guy that's in there is actually on one of the missing papers.
Dang.
Just some hitchhiker that ended up needing a place to stay.
Drifters.
And also this is on Netflix. When it was on Netflix, this was the part where you just like the little thumbnail for it was of Jenna Ortega screaming, and that was from the scene.
Oh, nice.
It's just a really great shot of her screaming. So Jackson gets up. He's kind of walking around the house completely naked, getting something to drink. And then Howard comes and knocks on the door. Jackson does not put any clothes on. He just opens the door with his giant penis on the ground. Howard asks Jackson.
Howard's like, nice hog, man. Have you seen my wife?
Like when I was younger, it was also that big.
Yeah, right. Howard, get out of here.
Howard asks Jackson to help look for Pearl. We get more of Jackson talking about being a Marine, how Marines got to stick together and stuff like that. And how like he's just going to be really good at searching because he's a Marine. They walk by the lake where Jackson sees a car underwater. Across the lake, he sees Howard's light. He goes to grab it thinking he may have fallen in. He turns, but then he's like, oh, it's just a flashlight. Nothing happened. He turns and finds Howard. He says that he can't give Pearl what she wants anymore and talks about how lucky young people have it. And then blasts Jackson in the chest with a shotgun, corpse falling in the water.
Do you think it always means whenever you see a dropped flashlight, do you just have to assume someone got picked up by a monster?
I assume
someone was removed.
Someone quickly got removed from the situation and the flashlight didn't make it. that just like everybody's instinct when they get nabbed to drop their
he
flashlight?
found a bigger flashlight on the ground.
Like, oh, cool, better
That's
flashlight.
brighter.
He's probably just like, oh, I'm older. I'm getting tired of holding a gun and a flashlight.
Can't hold two things.
Yeah. And then during this section, we get to, I really love this part of the movie as well. It's kind of like the horror is really seeping in now. It's full out, just a complete horror movie now. It's great. And then this is where we get Pearl, who's climbing into bed with Maxine. I love this because you get a great point of view shot of her just slowly walking through the house.
So quiet.
Yeah. We see Pearl touching her back and leaving RJ's blood all over her. And then finally Maxine turns around and sees Pearl just
Only one man can smear blood on me, and that's Jackson.
Yeah. And then Bobby Lynn overhears and tries to help Maxine. She sees Pearl running out of the house and follows her to the lake. Bobby Lynn tries to help Pearl back into the house, saying like, oh, she used to have to take care of like her mother or something. And she talks about how
Dementia
she wanted
and stuff.
to potentially be a nurse. But Pearl hates her. We'll learn that she hates blondes and slaps her in the face and calls her a whore. And Bobby Lynn's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm done. And then gets pushed into the lake where she's eaten by an alligator.
Oh, yes.
So rad.
I know. I was just waiting so long for this alligator to get some lunch.
It's like, thank you. Alligator plays a part in Pearl.
Oh, is it the same one?
I think
So
that's
was it
what
little teeny tiny ones
in
Pearl?
it's still pretty big.
Like
I don't know how long alligators live.
It took 60 years to grow into a giant one.
It could maybe be like a baby one. I don't know.
I think they live pretty long.
Do they? I've actually never looked that up. I don't want to watch a
anything.
documentary about alligators just to be scared.
Just
Something I love though is like after the alligator eats her and it kind of calms down, Pearl just looks over her shoulder. Bitch. It's so funny.
It's great.
And it's where we're like, oh, we're really starting to see Pearl's true colors here. It's like, no, she acted like a petite, old, like fragile old lady, but no, she's
really dangerous.
She's got a mean streak.
It's
She's
like
not
a mean
a
girl.
She is not a nice person, we find out.
You're so fetch.
And this is where Howard asked if that was the one that she wanted, and she says she doesn't like blondes.
Oh man, so
Yeah.
Howard's. I wonder how long they've been doing this. Probably a long time.
Let's see. Since whenever the first movie,
Oh, okay,
since
so that's when it
it's
started.
yeah, Pearl. It's like the origin story of it.
Gotcha.
And you just,
Yeah, I want to see it.
I should let you borrow it. So Lorraine gets an axe and tries to break through the door to escape, but she is caught by Howard, who slams her fingers with his own axe and severs one of them.
Yeah, that sucks. Ouchie.
Every time I watch it, I'm like, ah! Why is that the thing that makes me the most uncomfortable at all?
I don't know, but it
Eye
always
stuff
does.
didn't do it. And honestly, I thought when I first watched it, I was like, oh, because I hate when people step on nails in movies.
Oh yeah, that's awful.
Sucks. It stresses me the hell out.
Yeah.
But man, and then I saw her just like, because he's not chopping it, he's like hitting it with like the top or the blunt side.
Blunt side.
And something about just getting your hand just mangled by that doesn't
It's torture.
feel good or look like it feels good.
It's so torture.
Yeah. So then we go back to Maxine, who hides in one of the rooms that she was in and hides under the bed. And then all of a sudden, Howard and Pearl comes in. They talk about the murders, and this gets some rock
Oh,
stars.
yeah.
Howard finally obliges Pearl and has sex with her. It's kind of sweet.
It'd be funny if it was like super loud or
Yeah.
raucous. Or like they got a swing and
Hey.
everything.
Old Pearl starts
Pearl's
starts talking a little dirty in there. You know, it's an uncomfortable thing to watch in a movie theater.
Watching people have sex while
two-
someone's under the bed.
Two old people having sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's difficult.
Especially after you just saw him murder a bunch of people.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved it. It was
It's just like that
something I've never
scene-
seen in theater, and I was like, "Wow, this is
Yeah,
pretty
no,
cool."
you remember from
This is pretty
Titanic
cool.
when the old couple was in
Oh,
there
yeah,
banging it out
and,
while the ship was sinking.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about how who's the guy on the boat at the very beginning that's talking to the old lady? What's the actor's name?
I don't remember.
He's in Twisters. Oh, it's Bill Paxton at the beginning of
Oh,
Titanic.
yes.
It just cuts to the sex scene between him and the old lady. Man, the joke was not worth how long it took me to do that.
It's okay. It all in.
So yeah, they have sex, and then Maxine's trying to sneak out, and I'm like, dude, you guys are all very young. They are very old. You don't have to sneak out. You just have to run really
Just have
fast.
to move faster.
Just go fast. But I think that's what the beauty of this movie is, because you think like there's no way these old people could kill these young people. But like in the situations that these young people get themselves into, they make themselves easy targets.
Yes.
Like when Lorraine goes down into the cellar, I'm like, Natalie, this is why we need true crime podcasts.
We need a cellar.
Because now everybody knows, like, oh, I'm in this random house with these people I don't know. They're asking me to go in the cellar. Everybody says,
you
no.
learn lots of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, and never go to a second location.
Exactly. See, Lorraine, listen to the damn podcast. Sorry you didn't have any in 79.
Yeah. I won't even go to one with my wife.
She's always like, hey, can we go here? It's like, sorry, we started here. We're not going to a second one. I don't trust you. I do the same with my kids and my pets. So Maxine, she sneaks out and tries to go to the van, only to find the keys missing. She sees RJ's corpse. She grabs.
Does she check the mirror? They're always there. They're always in the mirror.
But she did check the glove compartment and found Wayne's gun.
Sweet, that's even better.
Earlier in the movie, though, I just completely forgot to mention it. Wait, no, I didn't, because Howard earlier says, "Oh, my gun has no ammo in it." He just waves it around. That was a lie. But turns out Wayne wasn't lying when he says he does the same with his gun in the glove compartment. We'll figure that out real soon.
Oh, and she didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, because
right.
Yeah. So Maxine,
are you calling Howard a liar?
You know,
Stick up for all the Howards out there.
pretty. He's a pretty trustworthy guy in this movie, but
Loyal
I think he
husband.
did lie. Yeah. Hey, he's loyal to the soil, but only to one person.
Oh my God! Never heard that before.
Yeah.
He fucks dirt.
Yeah. Just like the movie Saul Burned.
I would do mud.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So
Quicksand.
Maxine, we're just gonna move along here. Maxine,
Gravel driveway.
Definitely not that one. Maybe after it rained. Might right.
Oh, God.
So Maxine runs to the cellar to free Lorraine. While she tries to get them out, Lorraine blames Maxine for everything that has happened. Lorraine begins to run out of the house, only to get shot in the face by Howard, and it fucking rules.
Yeah, it does.
So funny.
She's like, I'm getting away.
Yeah. And I love because you see Howard dragging her body, and then it shows her face. She's got the tiniest little bottom teeth. I was like, dang, is that how Jenna Ortega's teeth looks like, or is that just the dummy that they?
Oh yeah.
Just super curious.
Have you ever met anybody that had tiny teeth?
I've seen people with tiny teeth. I'm like, hey, I don't trust you and your tiny teeth.
It's a little off.
Hey, grow bigger teeth, lady.
I know it's not their fault.
It's not their fault.
It's fine.
That's why you go to the dentist. You get big teeth. Anyways, so as he's trying to drag Lorraine's body inside, Lorraine lets out a dying cough, which startles Howard and causes him to suffer a fatal heart attack. So funny. That's such a good way.
Yeah.
Such a great way for him to die.
Yeah, it kind of is. It's kind of perfect, I guess.
Maxine gets the van keys and aims her gun at Pearl as the TV plays a video of the preacher with Maxine saying, "I will not accept the life I don't deserve," just as the preacher does. I wonder why. Unfortunately, Maxine finds out that the gun is unloaded. Pearl fires the shotgun at Maxine and misses, but the recoil makes her
shoots
fly
her
back
out of a
through.
cannon.
Shoots her out of the house, which is insane.
She's like
and she
30
breaks her
pounds
hips.
wet.
Help me, I broke my hip.
Broke my everything.
Maxine refuses to help her. Maxine gets into the van as Pearl calls her a whore. Maxine runs over Pearl's head twice, causing it to burst. But first, Pearl says it will be all taken away from her, just like it was taken away from Pearl.
Yeah. Oh, I mean by time?
By aging, yeah. Time takes away all.
Sucks, man. Yeah,
there's still one villain we can't kill.
Well, we got pills now that may extend your life. It slow down aging.
Really?
There's
what pill?
I think it's being tested by the FDA.
Ah, cool. Because I only got about maybe like 1 or 2 more years, so I'm like, oh, just kill me.
And you'll be in that space for a long time. So get used to it.
Yeah. Man, that pill's going to be like $1 billion if it actually
obviously.
works. We'll never be able to afford it.
It's Supreme Court justices using it because they have lifetime sentences.
That's the real horror, guys.
So back it off, Jason.
We see Maxine driving off. She talks about divine intervention, which was also something said in the sermon, and then snorts some coke, and then it says, "Thank the fucking Lord."
Hell yeah. Maxine. Right. I love Maxine.
Yeah, she rules. The following day, we see the sheriff and the other officers arrive. What does he say? It's like, oh yeah, because one of the deputies asked the sheriff, like, "What do you think happened here?" And he looks, "How the fuck should I know?" It's great.
Yeah, I like that he says, "I don't know," because that
Yeah.
is an answer.
Yeah,
You don't have
exactly.
to
Like,
always
who
try to
would
know
It's
everything.
like, wait, why is everybody here dead?
It was probably immigrants.
But also during the scene, we still see the video of the preacher playing, and it's like, how long is this sermon? And then we see that it's revealed that Maxine is the preacher's daughter,
Dang, that's why she's
and that he's been searching for her. And I'm assuming
What, the dad has?
yeah, the preacher.
Yes.
That was like his
okay.
whole thing. It's like, son, I'm trying to find my daughter who's covered in sin or whatever. I don't
I'm
know.
gonna marry her to her
Yeah, probably.
brother.
It's like, I have another preacher that wants to marry her.
Yeah, man.
Wah, wah, wah. But then the deputy finds the camera used to film the porno. When he asks the sheriff what he thinks is on it, he replies, "A goddamn fucked up horror show."
Hell yeah. Let's watch it.
And then the credits end, and then after the end credits, they had a trailer for the prequel Pearl, but it's not on the DVD, and it fucking sucks
Oh.
because I never got to see it, even though I did on Facebook later.
Even though you could see it like basically
Yeah, just go on
everywhere.
YouTube. You can look it up. Yeah. And that's X. What a wonderful little horror movie that spanned a trilogy. And who would have ever thought that?
Yeah, now I have to watch all the other ones.
Yeah, gotta watch Pearl. Maxine comes out this Friday, the same day that this releases.
Fuck
July
yeah, say
5th.
some
Actually,
Maxine.
July 4th, but you know.
And it's about her, Maxine, from
Yeah, it's
the
about,
one
yeah.
girl.
It's her,
It's her
after
becoming Pearl.
No.
No.
It's like, I think she's getting stalked by the Night Stalker in LA.
What?
Yeah,
That's cool.
It's based on the true, not, the actual killer, I guess. She's just
Hell
being
yeah.
stalked around Hollywood, I guess. I
That's
don't know.
crazy.
I guess it's kind of filmed like a Dario Argento type of horror movie where it's going to be a lot gorier than probably this was, and a lot more like 80s horror films instead of like this, which was more 70s horror.
Okay. I like the 70s vibe more.
Yeah. And I did, listening to Ty West talk about this movie, he thought of this movie as like independent cinema,
Oh, I thought you were going to say Independence Day.
as kind of like the theme of this movie. And the second one is kind of old time Hollywood because, it's set in the older days.
Yeah,
and
okay.
most of the movies then were just people dancing on screen. That was it. And Pearl is obsessed with that and wants to be kind of on screen. So all three movies are centered around some sort of era in Hollywood, and it's all about the lead star wanting to get famous and
Cool.
make movies. So yeah, I can't wait to watch Maxine XXX
Hell yeah, man. I can't wait.
or MAXXX.
This is a perfect movie just to because last night Ashley she's like, I'm in the mood for some murder. Or
I thought I'm in the mood for some porn. You're like,
No.
well, I got the perfect movie for you because I'm in the mood
we
for
watched
murder.
this together a long time ago.
She enjoy
but
it?
She fell asleep. So like she couldn't remember what happened after they got to the house, which is pretty early on.
Yeah, that's 20 minutes in the movie, if that. Did she like the movie? She enjoy it?
I don't know. She didn't remember. She was sleepy.
Oh, she didn't watch it with you?
She did, but she was asleep.
Man,
I don't know how long she was asleep. She claims she saw. a
she
certain amount.
will never get to watch this movie because
I
she'll
made
always
it-
fall asleep.
Last night as we were watching the Zone of Interest, she turned it off 1 minute before it was going to roll credits, and I was like, "Wait,
Wait,
we will finish this because I'm not watching this again."
1 minute before the credits? Why would you stop?
Because there's a lot of scenes in that movie where it just does these weird transitions
Mhm.
from scenes, and it's really cool and
Mhm.
artistic, but like it kind of makes you think the movie's over.
Really?
A couple of times.
Whoa.
And so, well, I mean, but that's why I say at the end of it, it just goes black.
Yeah.
I'm like, something could just pop up and happen.
I'm going to have to like make sure whenever I watch it that I'm like constantly not thinking it's about to be over. Who directed it? I know it's a director I really like. Gonna cut most of this. I hate IMDb. Oh, Jonathan Glazer. Oh, that guy rules. Yeah, he's the guy that did Under the Skin.
Oh yeah,
And
that one's cool.
there's another movie of his. I actually haven't seen that. I need to watch it.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I guess that's the only one of his I've actually
I'd
seen.
love to talk about that movie. It's fucked up.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do it this October.
Yeah,
So I was thinking like, what should be the next movie I do? And then I'm like, I just kept thinking more horror movies. I'm like, we can't just keep doing horror. I should have just started a horror movie podcast. Apparently.
I love horror movies.
All right, so we're gonna jump to our first category, the good, the bad, the ugly, the fine. It's where we discuss something good about the movie, the good, something bad, the bad, something that didn't age well, the ugly, something that did age well, the fine. But you're good, bro.
My good is that it just seemed like everyone had a lot of fun making this movie. And I think that really helps a lot. Like,
you could tell it was made from love, you know?
Yeah, they
Everybody
love murder.
Everybody was down.
And maybe like you kind of have this feeling like they're trying to make another Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or not make the same one, but like recreate the feeling,
vibe and the feeling. Yeah. And it does it very well.
It's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. I liked that this wasn't. You watched when they rebooted Scream, like the first one when Jenna Ortega is, which is funny because this came out the same year that the Jenna Ortega one came out of. Oh, you never saw it?
No,
so
I never saw it.
They talk about, what do they call it? Elevated horror?
Okay.
Things like The Babadook, The Witch.
Babadook.
Just Hereditary, Midsummer, movies like that where it's all about
cool
like,
movies,
it's about trauma and stuff like that. And like no horror movies is like, hey, we're just going over here to have a good time. Oh, we're all getting killed.
Oh,
what?
No.
This was so refreshing to just like, hey, here's some people. They're just gonna die, man.
And you're gonna sit back and enjoy it.
The kills are gonna be impressive and cool, and there's gonna be great suspense. And you're not gonna feel like, wow, maybe I should go to therapy after. And I just think it's just great that someone saw that and was like, well, we need this type of movie right now. And it was true.
Hell yeah, man. It was so cool. So fun to watch.
Yeah. What do you got for the bad? Anything bad that you didn't like?
I don't think they made Big Cudi's dick big enough.
Yeah, that's true. And how do you not have him singing The Pursuit of Happiness in this movie? Come on. My bad was, I don't know, an hour 45 minutes long. Could have been an hour 40. 5 minutes cut. I don't know.
You're not
really.
wrong.
I really don't have anything bad about this movie. It's just usually if I watch a movie, I'm always like, it could probably have been a little shorter.
Get your gator right.
Yeah.
Why do they have alligators in Texas? Is this on the Louisiana side of, you think?
Well, they're in Houston, I believe. I think it's my phone on the ground.
Houston? Okay.
Yeah, they're in Houston, Texas.
I don't think
I think it starts in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah. Something the ugly, something that didn't age well. What do you got?
I don't know. I don't think they were, but if they were trying to vilify senior citizens, I think that sucks. But like, it worked.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say Pearl and Howard didn't age well.
Nope.
Got 'em.
It's all that murdering. It's a hard life.
I mean, I think they're based on Pearl, she's in her 20s, and that's like the 30s or something. Actually, say they probably actually did age well for older people living
because they're almost 100 and
they
they're
lived through
still killing
probably
people.
The hardest times in America.
Yeah.
So they
Great
made it out.
Depression.
They made it out of that, and they didn't have money when they lived on the farm. So I think they actually did age well. There's really nothing ugly. I think this movie, the only thing that's gonna be ugly is based off your taste. Like, I mean, if you don't like porn, then that's probably gonna age poorly for you. If you do get tired of like seeing old people as like a bad thing, then yeah, that might not age well for you. But I don't know. I think it's a great way to use the idea of age in a movie.
Sure, man. Because it not only is it, it's killing these kids, but it's also been killing these guys for years.
Yeah. So the fine, something that aged well. Got anything? It's a very new movie, so these last two are kind of hard.
I just like where you were talking about how it just kind of feels like a good old slasher movie.
Good old slasher movie, yeah. I put Ty West coming back to make horror movies. Because his last movie was a Western. Because he didn't want to keep doing scary movies because he was tired of. He didn't want to just do the same thing over and over, and he was scared he's gonna just start doing
what was
being
the Western
stuck
that he did? True Grit.
No, I don't think anybody watched it. I didn't. I didn't know it. Well, because usually when I think of Ty West, I'm just
I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, really?
And into the Western thing right now.
Hell yeah!
I had to take off my spurs when I got here.
In the Valley of Violence. That's the movie.
Yep, never heard of it.
Yep. All right, so we're gonna head on to our next category, which is double feature. It's where we pick a movie that goes along with this movie. So I picked House of the Devil, which is a Ty West film.
Wait, I was thinking House of Thousand Corpses. Never mind.
It's just, I think if you want to watch his probably after, I think probably X and Pearl are better movies than House of the Devil. But if you want to watch his like earlier stuff, super low budget movie, that's just really great bare bones filmmaking. House of the Devil is amazing. It's one of my kind of secretly one of my favorite horror movies.
That's cool.
Yeah, I just love the vibe.
I'm going to say House of a Thousand Corpses.
Hell yeah,
because
Rob
I haven't
Zombie.
seen it all. And it was so scary, I had to stop watching it.
All right, so
you can just tell me about it.
Watch a movie that he couldn't finish.
And then you tell me about it.
It is nothing like this movie. It'd be a great... It's good old hillbilly horror
it's
from
horror.
Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
Movie's goofy as hell.
Really?
When the movie first came out, my brother was watching it, and like the Dr. Satan, I believe, is the main villain in the movie. And when it got to that scene, like I kind of was sneaking into the room to watch it. Scared the hell out of me, dude. Just the visual of it. And I was like, I can't do this as a child.
I saw working. After the part where it shows the girls he's got kidnapped. Yeah. I was like, I had to turn it off. I was like, I can't.
Maybe he's got Dwight Schrute in it. I always forget it.
Oh, man.
He's terrible in the movie. The characters suck. In all Rob Zombie movies, the characters suck, dude.
So don't watch this movie, I recommend.
No. I just mean like they're all douches and they all deserve to die.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
But that's like his favorite type of horror movie where you want all the...
He gets to kill all the people he hates in real life.
Yeah,
that's fun. Oh, man, that's fun.
But that's our conversation on the
film. Is that why they do this?
What?
You just want to bring to life all these ways that you've killed people you hated throughout your life?
Man, I hope that's not why they do it, because they're secretly psychopaths.
Well, I mean, it's an outlet, right?
It's a release.
You don't murder, so you just make a movie about it.
I mean, I feel like horror movies are a great stress reliever.
They are.
Because it's like, oh, well, at least I don't have to do that. At least I'm not being murdered all the time.
Yeah, my life's not so bad.
It's like, sometimes when I feel like I listen to too much true crime podcasts, I'm like, man, I really need to watch a horror movie just to... I need to see some fake deaths after hearing about all these real deaths.
Oh, yeah.
Yikes. Let's see. A goofy movie about a supernatural killer or something.
I'm going to go cry in the shower.
Yep. But that's our conversation on the hit film X. Make sure you join us next week as we're going to be straying away from the horror movies and going to some 90s action movies because next week we're covering Speed, baby.
Hell yeah. Get on that Speed
The movie
bus.
Speed, not Speed Baby. I don't know if that is a movie. Love Speed. Watched it a bunch as a kid. Haven't watched it in a while, and I can't wait to rewatch it. I
haven't seen it forever.
Yeah, movie rules. Buses
with balls.
A bus makes a giant jump, and it's hilarious and awesome. And
it's so realistic.
Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock are great in it. Can't wait to rewatch it.
Okay. It's so ridiculous.
One of the most charismatic actresses acting next to
one of the least charismatic actors.
But also at the same time insanely charismatic. It's so weird. Keanu Reeves, he's an angel. I don't know how he did it, but
he's a dog catcher.
He's the best worst great actor ever.
What if Patrick Swayze would have thrown the dog off the porch or like into a shredder and like Keanu Reeves is like, no, and saves it.
But then gets his hand in it and shreds it.
No, he just completely saves the day and like kisses the dog and, everybody wins.
Yeah.
But like the dog wasn't in danger.
Man, you know what I love? Like if we ever got like a big enough audience to where we eventually got like fan art and stuff, I feel like most of our fan art would be you and the dog from Point Break. Me throwing a dog at you and you catching it. That's like all our fan art would be.
Hell yeah, I can't wait.
But thank you for joining us this week, and make sure you come back next week for Speed. If you want to send us an email, you can click the link in the descriptions on Spotify and all that. It's not on some of them. You just got to click send us some fan mail. And if you just want to do it through email, you can send it to us at werecommendmailbag@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on our social networks, go to our linktree/we recommend podcast, where you can easily find us on our social networks, and you can easily get to any other streaming service you want from there. I'd like to thank Joey Prosser for our intro and outro music. You can follow him on X at Mr. Joey Prosser. Wow, I kind of crushed that, man.
Yeah.
I freaking nailed it. Hell yeah.
Didn't mess up 3 times.
Because of that, this has been the We Recommend Podcast. I'm Jesse.
I'm Jason.
I Wait, hold on. completely forgot the quote. Completely forgot the quote.
It's from the
Completely
alligator.
forgot the quote.
No.
All right, we're going to cut all this. I will not accept a life I do not deserve.
And neither should you.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.